Bulldozer politics has reached Rajasthan today as three old temples, said to be 300 years old, were demolished by the Congress-ruled Ashok Gehlot government. The temples were demolished in the Sarai Mohalla area of Rajgarh, in Alwar, on the pretext of development. According to the administration, the temples were an encroachment that came in the way of the city's master plan for development. Following the demolition, Hindu organizations, as you can expect, hit the streets in outrage. A complaint was also filed by a nearby police station, but the police did not register a complaint in the case after the Congress opposed a bulldozer drive in Jahangirpuri day before yesterday. The same model appears to have been applied in Rajasthan, which detractors of the Congress party say has basically exposed its hypocrisy. And joining me live now is Union Minister Giriraj Singh, who's been one of the most vocal government leaders on the issue of communal tensions and this spate of incidents that have taken place. गिरिराज जी, आपका स्वागत है. हम ये जो आपस में जो झगड़ा हो रहा है कांग्रेस और बीजेपी के बीच में ओवर कम्युनल इश्यूज के को लेकर, अभी कुछ मंदिर को बुलडोज किए गए हैं राजस्थान में. गिरिराज जी, बीजेपी का एलिगेशन है कि ये कांग्रेस का रिटेलिएटरी पॉलिटिक्स है और ये जहांगीरपुरी में जो बुलडोजिंग इंसिडेंट हुआ था ये उसके बाद हो रहा है. इसके बारे में आप क्या बोलेंगे?
देखिए, मैं इस पर ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. मैं तो आज आपके साथ 24 अप्रैल के पंचायती राज दिवस पर, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जा रहे हैं, उस पर मुझे आपसे बात करनी है. ये जो अलवर में घटना घटी है, मैं जानना चाहता हूं कांग्रेस के लोगों से, ये सैकड़ों साल पुराना मंदिर, इस पर क्या आप जानबूझ करके एक वर्ग मुसलमानों को खुश करने के लिए, जहांगीरपुर अवैध कब्जा का मामला था और ये तो हिंदुओं के आस्था का केंद्र बिंदु है, और उस आस्था के केंद्र बिंदु को क्यों आपने ऐसा किया? इसलिए किया कि हिंदू की सहिष्णुता को आप चुनौती दे रहे हैं. आप वोट की राजनीति के लिए आज से नहीं, आज़ादी के समय से, जब से देश बंटवारा हुआ और भारत आज़ाद हुआ, कांग्रेस वोट की राजनीति के लिए ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करने का काम किया. मैं यही कहना चाह रहा हूं, कांग्रेस को इसका खामियाजा भुगतना पड़ेगा. ये हिंदुओं के सनातन धर्म को क्या खत्म कर देना चाहते हैं? मैं बार बार जब ये बात कहता हूं कांग्रेस से और देश के टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग से, क्या भारत में हिंदू सनातन के देवी देवता, चाहे राम हो, कृष्ण हो, चाहे बाबा भोलेनाथ हो, इनको यहाँ नहीं पूजा जाएगा? देवी दुर्गा को यहाँ नहीं पूजा जाएगा? हनुमान को यहाँ नहीं पूजा जाएगा? तो कहाँ पूजा जाएगा? बता तो दे, कौन से देश में पूजा जाएगा? पाकिस्तान में, बांग्लादेश में? कांग्रेस वोट के खातिर ये अंग्रेजों से भी ज़्यादा जुल्म कर रहे हैं, मुगलों से भी ज़्यादा जुल्म कर रहे हैं भारत के संस्कृति को मिटाने के लिए.
गिरिराज जी, ये सब के बीच में आम आदमी पार्टी का कहना है कि ये जो बुलडोजर जो जहांगीरपुरी और अलवर में इस्तेमाल हो रहे हैं, उनका कहना है कि ये बुलडोजर बीजेपी ऑफिस पर इस्तेमाल होना चाहिए. इस पे आप कैसे रिएक्ट करेंगे?
मैं पूछना चाहता हूं केजरीवाल साहब से, केजरीवाल साहब, ये कहाँ का न्याय है कि आप दिल्ली में हर मस्जिदों में सारे इमाम को पैसा दे रहे हो? दिल्ली के मंदिरों में भी तो दे दो. अगर सबको हिंदू और मुसलमान को बराबर समझते हो तो लाखों रुपये हर मस्जिद को तनख्वाह दे रहे हो इमाम को, और मंदिरों में पुजारियों को क्यों नहीं दे रहे हो? ये वोट की राजनीति जो कांग्रेस करती थी, तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति, ये होड़ लगी हुई है ये टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग में कि मुसलमानों का वोट बढ़ चढ़ के कौन ले. उसमें कांग्रेस, केजरीवाल, ममता, सबों में होड़ लगी हुई है केवल मुसलमानों का वोट लेने के लिए.
गिरिराज जी, आप ऐसे एक मंत्री हैं जो सीएए और एनआरसी को लेकर आप काफी बात करते हैं, तो ये सारे जो कम्युनल इंसिडेंट्स जो हो रहे हैं उसके बीच में आप भी लगातार सीएए और एनआरसी के बारे में बात करते हैं. तो अगर आप सीरियस नहीं है तो अगर आप सीरियस हैं सीए और एनआरसी के ऊपर तो आप ये क्यों नहीं आगे ला रहे हैं? What is the government waiting for? क्योंकि आप बार बार बोलते हैं सीए और एनआरसी के बारे में।
चिंता न करें, जो कानून उचित समय पर होगा लेकिन समाज के साथ होगा। ये सीए कानून क्या था? सीए कानून किसी की नागरिकता लेने की नहीं थी, लेकिन उसमें भी भारत को डराने का काम किया ये कांग्रेस पार्टी और टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग। उनके साथ खड़े होकर के पूरे देश में एक माहौल खराब किया और दुनिया में भारत को बदनाम करने के लिए। यहाँ सब कुछ ठीक नहीं है। हामिद अंसारी जी जब उपराष्ट्रपति होते हैं तो भारत के सारे संसाधन को भोगते हैं, और जब उतने बड़े पद से उतरते हैं तो कहते हैं यहाँ सब कुछ ठीक नहीं है। ये कौन सा विचार है? फिल्मी कलाकार कई हैं, सेलिब्रिटी, ये लोग पूरे दुनिया में भारत की छवि को बिगाड़ना चाहते हैं। और दूसरे तरफ साजिश पटकथा लिखी जाती है पाकिस्तान में, और ये तौफीक रजा और ओवैसी जैसे लोग उसकी जुबान बोलते हैं।
गिरिराज सिंह हमसे बात करने के लिए धन्यवाद। That was Giriraj Singh, Union Minister, one of the most vocal amidst all of these communal incidents across the country. Remember, here on India Today, we've been asking consistently, is there a pattern to what's happening, and does it have to do with the elections that are coming up later this year and early next year in Karnataka? Days after stones were pelted on a police station in Karnataka's Hubbali town, the BJP leaders are now demanding that the UP Bulldozer model be replicated in poll-bound Karnataka to deter incidents like the stone pelting communal clash that took place just a few days ago. While the Home Minister has assured more arrests in the case in Karnataka, tension continues to simmer in the state. Take a look. Is there a bulldozer Nataka ahead is the question.
Investigation into the Hubli violence reveals shocking details. The rioters who attacked the police station on April 16th also tried to lynch police personnel. Two policemen have alleged the rioters tried to kill them, but they had a narrow escape. In a breakthrough in investigation, the police have nabbed the main accused, Maulvi Wasim Pathan, from Mumbai. Wasim, who was absconding, had released a video claiming he was innocent.
पूरे जो वीडियो में या कहीं पर भी मेरा ऐसा कोई बयान पथराव का या पत्थर मारने के हवाले से या लोगों को भड़काने के हवाले से कोई भी मेरा बयान वहाँ पर नहीं हुआ। और सोशल मीडिया में जिस तरीके से मेरे हवाले से माहौल बनाया जा रहा है कि मैं ही उसका मास्टरमाइंड हूँ, ये सरासर गलत है। ऐसा कोई ना इरादा था, ना कोई ख्याल था। ये मेरे खिलाफ रची गई एक साजिश है।
The police have also arrested two leaders of Asaduddin Owaisi's party, MIM, for their alleged role in the riots. They are Muhammad Arif and Irfan Nalwatwad, the husband of corporator Hussain B. Nalwatwad. BJP leaders are now demanding the Yogi Adityanath's bulldozer model in Karnataka, claiming that the people are in fear of the recent incidents in Karnataka. Chief Minister's political secretary said that the only solution is implementation of UP bulldozer model in the state.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು ಇಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಧೋರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಕಲ್ಲು ಬಿಸಾಡೋ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಕಲ್ಲು ಬಿಸಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬುಲ್ಡೋಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನೀವು
BJP MLA Arvind Belard went a step further and urged the Home Ministry to do a survey of all Maulvis in the state. Belard claims the Maulvis are brainwashed by the Deoband movement.
I requested the Home Minister, I requested the state to do the mapping of these every Maulvi in our state and send them back to their places so that people here can live peacefully, and this will be a good step towards drowsing these unwanted situations which may arise in the days to come.
CM Basavaraj Bommai has indicated more arrests are likely as police gather more evidence.
ಈ ಹುಬ್ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಪ್ರಕರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತನಿಖೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆ ಏನು, ಈಗ ನಡೆದಂಥ ಘಟನೆಗಳು ಕೆಲವಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಪಿರಸಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ತನಿಖೆಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗನೆ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ದಸ್ತಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
The BJP has also accused Congress District President Altaf Alwar of instigating the crowd. State Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar has rejected the charge.
ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯಾವ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಏನು ಟ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಲ್ಲ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರೇನೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಫಸ್ಟು ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೂಬೆ ಕುಣಿಸಲು ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವರ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ 40% ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Violence broke out in Hubli last week after an objectionable post was shared on social media. The riots have become a huge flashpoint in the state that is headed for elections next year. Bureau Report, India Today.
Sameer Kagalkar of the BJP, which is the ruling party in Karnataka. Mr. Kagalkar, first of all, welcome to you both. Good to see you. Thank you for your time. Sameer, to you first. Are we looking at a bulldozer Nataka? We've seen Mr. Renukacharya talk about, he's put out a tweet calling for, bulldozers, the bulldozer model to be replicated in Karnataka. Prominent member of parliament, Pratap Simha, has said, if you don't behave, if you continue to stone pelt, then the bulldozers are going to come after you here in Karnataka as well. So straight question, not a loaded question. Is that what the government is considering, to unleash a kind of bulldozer Raj like in Uttar Pradesh, another state that your party rules, in Karnataka as well?
Thanks, Shay. Thanks for having me on the show here. First and foremost, it's a very open and closed kind of an issue that's at hand, right? If you look at our actions, that should speak louder than the words. The actions of government of Karnataka, as in any other state governments where BJP is in rule, is abundantly clear that to take action against people who are into illegal activities. It can be stone pelting, it can be land encroachment, or it can be something more than that. Just to kind of put things clear, there could be a set of people who are stone pelters alone, there could be a set of people who are land encroachers, but there could be a set of people who are both stone pelters and land encroachers. Now, a certain incident happened wherein a mob, a fiery mob, sponsored, instigated, very, very calculated, comes up against a police station. It's become a pattern, repeatedly go mob the police station, torch them, pelt stones at them, and then finally try to kind of put up a victim card saying that, it just so happened so innocently, right? So when that being the case, the law needs to show its might. The law needs to show its majesty in terms of implementation.
Sameer, point taken.
Allow me half a minute.
Yeah.
In which case, let's say the law will take its course and say the land is going to be removed and get back into the state in terms of bulldozer activity. And incidentally, that person also happens to be a stone pelter. It doesn't mean that it's because of stone pelting. If anything, for stone pelting, he or she will have to pay a separate price yet again, once again.
Okay.
That being the position.
I take your point. The reason I'm asking specifically about bulldozers is it's become a very emotive issue. It's become a metaphor for government action against illegal encroachment and rioters and things like that. So I'm specifically asking, see, the government has taken action against rioters. It sent out a message in the past. I am simply asking, are we going to see bulldozers now rolling in Karnataka as a kind of default response to this sort of thing? I'm asking very specifically because so far that's not been the case. And when you bring bulldozers in, it sends out a different kind of message now. It's what Yogi Adityanath has been doing in UP. That's why a specific question.
Shiv, a bulldozer was used to remove a so-called illegal encroachment of a temple in Mysore in September. If at all we don't forget it so easily. So the
correct. Last year.
law is simple here. Same for all. Unless until you don't want to believe that the law is same for all. It's separate for the others of Shiv Kumar. No, it can't be.
Lavanya, you want to come in on that? There's an explicit call for a bulldozer, a bulldozer Raj now. Sameer says this is due process. It's already been happening in Karnataka and it's been demonstrated by the BJP in other states that it rules. So what's wrong with that?
Good evening. First of all, whoever is responsible for the mobocracy must be caught, must be punished stringently. There should be stringent punishment taken in these incidents. Having said that, the question is what happened to the intelligence department of Karnataka? How is it failing every time when these things are happening? If you notice, Bommai's tenure of 9 months, this is the 9th month, we will see 10 different communally charged incidents that have happened.
Lavanya, if you could answer my question first, I'll broaden it into that. But first, I want you to answer my question on Bulldozer Raj specifically. We'll get into all the communally charged incidents. It's a fair point you've raised. But I want to ask you about the Congress's stand on bulldozers being used as a metaphor and invoking it in Karnataka as well. Less than a year to go for elections in the state.
Less than a year to go for elections is the main thing here. Having said that, see, it's a duty of every government, irrespective of whichever party it is, to ensure every Indian citizen has a housing. Now, if you're going to bring in bulldozers to bulldoze their houses as a punishment for the crimes that they can be punished under the Indian Penal Code. If it is extrajudiciary action, then the question arises, why? What is your motivation to bring in the bulldozers to bulldoze people's house? That's the main question, because it is the government's responsibility to ensure everybody has housing, and every kind of mob incident has punishment under the Indian Penal Code.
Okay.
Now, if that needs changing, that is a separate action that the governments or the parties should get together and decide, and the due procedure should be followed. But if you are going to overrule the government or the judiciary orders and take in India, we follow the constitution and the judiciary has its role. And only once the judiciary says, hey, these people are the culprits and they need to be punished, then you can punish them. But if you're going to bring in bulldozers, it is not democracy anymore. It is, I think, I wouldn't know what to say for that kind of.
Okay, so Sameer, that's a clear point. Sameer, the Congress is basically saying use bulldozers if it's been judicially, allowed. If it is, if it is happening, not against the judiciary. But the insinuation that the Congress has been making since the last 72 hours is that this is bulldozer Raj. It's like a mafia. It's extrajudicial. It is a summary kind of imposition of punishment on people without the judiciary being involved. And that is the fear in Karnataka as well. That's what the Congress is saying. Sameer, respond to that.
Absolutely not, Shiv. And the first part of what Lavanya said, I completely agree with her. The law has to take its own course and the punishment has to be only as per law. Completely in agreement with Lavanya. Let me give an instance. If someone is being charged under Money Laundering Act, D.K. Shivkumaranna, for instance, he was taken to Tihar Jail. His house was not demolished. We didn't put a bulldozer into his house. Whatever was the process of law that was followed. As simple as that. And if in case the land has been encroached upon, how would you sort of have that recovered? You need to use a bulldozer. If there's a financial fraud, then you probably go to the bank, then you go to the freeze the account and you have to get the money. But if it's a land encroachment, pray in God's name, how will you recover the land? It has to be used using a bulldozer. Be it a temple, be it a land, be it a house. How is that different than a temple was bulldozed in Rajasthan today, a 300-year-old Shiva temple? You had to use a bulldozer.
Pictures.
You had to use a bulldozer, right? How is that different in Rajasthan? And why is it different?
Lavanya, you want to respond to that?
Yes, I would like to respond to this. The temple that was destroyed in near Mysore also was under BJP's rule. BJP is the one which demolished these temples. More than 600 odd temples are going to be demolished, and there was a stay order, injunction brought against that action. Let me also remind Sameer that when Ishwarappa resigned after the corruption charges of 40% corruption, there was no demolishing of his house. When Yediyurappaji was caught and arrested and sent to jail on corruption charges when he was the CM the first time around, he became the CM the second time around too. There was no bulldozers at that point of time. I mean, he was arrested. He was in jail for corruption. in the check case where he was accepting bribes and the checks, right? Now there are multiple charges against the BJP government of corruption. So do we go around bulldozing people's house? Do we go around bulldozing Renuka Acharya's house because he's been accused of getting a ST caste certificate for his daughter?
Okay.
Is that what we are supposed to be doing, or is it our duty to uphold the judiciary and wait for the judicial orders?
We'll
if
have
we
to
are not going to wait for the judicial orders, is there a necessity for the judiciary department in India?
30 second answer, Samir. I'm out of time. 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely on the same page. The law is, the punishment will be as per law. If it's going to be a land encroachment, there will be a bulldozer.
Okay.
If not, it can be a PMLA, then you go to Tihar jail. As simple as that.
So very simply put, it's possible that we are going to see bulldozers in the road to the next election in Karnataka. Thanks very much, Samir and Lavanya. Good to see you both for this brief little discussion here.